Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new exciting video. My name is Greg, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make sure that you nail your focus every single time. But before we get started, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to every single one of you who have helped me reach 1,000 subscribers. We reached 1,000 subscribers on the 6th of September 2019, which is just under a year since I started making YouTube videos properly, and I really want to say a big thank you to all of you who've been with me from the beginning, who subscribed to my channel, and who've supported me along my journey. So a big thank you goes out to you guys, and let's try for the end of the year to reach 2,000 subscribers. Anyway, for today's video, we're going to be looking at 3 tips to make sure that you always nail your focus, and this especially applies to when you're using manual focus. Now, there are probably going to be a few of you who are going to be watching the video and be like, Greg, why not just use autofocus? And the reason I'd say this is because not every camera has great autofocus, unless you have something like the Canon 1DX Mark II that has the dual pixel autofocus, or another camera that has really good autofocus. You often find that autofocus will have pulsing. It will sometimes lock onto subjects that you don't want to be in focus. It could lock onto the background instead of your subject, and autofocus is sometimes just a mess. Another reason why you'd want to use manual focus is when you want more control over your focus. Using manual focus allows you to be a lot more flexible with your focus and allows you to change your focus quicker and do more complicated focus transitions than you would on autofocus. Now, to kick it off with number 1, we have focus peaking. Now, not every camera has focus peaking, but most of the new cameras these days have focus peaking. If you go into your camera's settings, you should be able to locate the option for focus peaking. So what does focus peaking actually do? Let's say I'm using manual focus and I'm trying to focus on a subject. If my subject is in focus, focus peaking will kick in, and that subject will either be outlined or colored in a specific color that you choose. So on my GH5, for example, I think when I use focus peaking, it is set to blue, and when I focus on an object using manual focus, that object will turn blue or have outlines of blue, depending on how your camera uses focus peaking. This is a great way, and I use it often to make sure that I get good focus with manual focus, because it shows you exactly what is in focus and what is not. And a really handy feature on the GH5 with focus peaking is that it allows me to punch in on the image to make sure that I really have the fine details in focus. Now, the second tip for making sure that you nail focus is a little bit more to do with your lens. We've spoken about aperture in previous videos, which I'll link down below in the description. Aperture is basically how wide your lens is open. So if you're shooting manual focus, you'd want to open your aperture up a little bit to a slightly higher value, closer to around f11 or f12, just to make sure that more is in focus. By opening up your aperture, you allow for less depth of field to be created, and hence more of your image is in focus. Now, obviously, you'll sacrifice your depth of field for this, but if you are shooting manual focus and you don't have the option of autofocus, unfortunately, you're going to have to do this. And if you don't want to open up your aperture too much on your camera, you can also zoom out on your lens. Zooming in will compress your image more, resulting in less area being in focus. Therefore, if you shoot with a wider angle lens, or you zoom out a little bit more of your image should be in focus. Now, all these tips are great, but what happens if you need to film a subject that moves past your frame incredibly quickly? Let's say your friend's skateboarding past you, or you're filming a runner or a car driving by, and it's impossible for you to track your focus for that subject because it's just moving way too fast. Then what I recommend doing with this is find the point where you'd like your subject to be completely in focus. Maybe this is the most action-filled point or the most interesting point of your video, and then what you're going to do is you're going to want to place your subject there and make sure that you are focused on your subject at that specific distance. Then simply get your subject to either run by or drive by or skateboard past your frame, making sure that you follow your subject the whole time. Once you play back your video, you'll notice that your most important part is in focus, while your irrelevant bits like the beginning and the ending are out of focus. Now, you can almost call this next tip a little bit of a bonus tip, but it sort of adds on to tip 3. If you shoot in slow motion, you're able to stretch out the length of your clip, which ultimately allows you to keep focus for longer. What I mean by this is if you film your friend coming by you very fast and you only have that one focus point set, if you had to film in 120 frames per second and slow it down to 24 frames per second, a 1 second section of video that might be in focus ends up being a 5 second section of video that is completely in focus. And if you're shooting at 60 frames per second, it's exactly the same thing, except it's just 2.5 seconds that would be in focus. So if you combine all of these tips, you should easily be able to nail manual focus almost all the time. Now, of course, if your camera is good enough, use autofocus as much as you can. However, I do recommend when you need to control your focus more that you use manual focus. Right now I am using autofocus, but I'm using a face detect autofocus, so the camera is using smart features to focus on my face, which is better than manual focus, because if I had to move forward and backwards while I'm talking to the camera, it wouldn't focus if it was on manual focus. I remember when I started out filming, focusing on manual focus is very, very difficult, and I found it difficult myself, and I definitely think these tips can help you to make sure that everything is crispy and that every single shot is in focus. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something new. I want to thank you guys yet again for 1,000 subscribers. It's really amazing and I'm really, really grateful. And I can't wait to reach 2,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you learned something new. And I almost forgot about last video's first comment, which was by Hutchison. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. She said, well done on hitting 1,000 subscribers. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for having post notifications turned on and for watching my last video. I hope you enjoyed it and I really hope you guys learned something new from this video. And if you did, please consider smashing the subscribe button and turning on post notifications. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed the video. That's it for today, guys. I post 2 new filmmaking tutorials every single week, so I'll catch you in the next one.